Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Kyle and Drew with your sneak peek at next week. This is episode number 220, but before Drew and myself get into what's coming into comic book shops in the month of June, Drew, there's some news from around the comic world.
Yeah, looks like Universal has optioned the rights to The Wicked and the Divine for television adaptation. I am kind of psyched about that because I was pretty big fan of Wicked and the Divine, still am, and you love it, and so that's cool. I don't know what that means for the value of our. We pretty much both have a double run of it, I think.
Mm-hmm. It'll probably go the way of Rat Queens, where everything will shoot up. Your number one will be about $20 pretty soon, and I can't remember if Wicked and Divine did a retail incentive variant on number one as well. I know there was several out there.
Yeah, I think DCBS, as of yesterday, which I didn't pick up any, I think they still had some DCBS variants for not that much.
Okay. I'm suggesting we jump on those as much as possible. Nothing may, of course, come of it. It's just a universal option, but you never know with that kind of thing. It's typically, the market right at the moment has been wait for the movie option or the book deal or whatever. So this is kind of what stirs the market at the moment, is these options.
Yeah, and it couldn't happen to a better series because we both love this series. So I'm glad. I'm excited to see how this thing gets adapted. Can you kind of see how that would work? I mean, what it would look like? Is it going to be CGI heavy?
Yeah. I wouldn't think so. I think they'll. I mean, because there's not a ton of CGI. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there is some pretty hefty CGI in it. Maybe. I mean, if you've got
just the look of the characters themselves.
Yeah, like the Morrigan turning into crows and that kind of thing will have to be dealt with in fun ways. But as far as the snapping of the fingers and the lighting of fires and the exploding of heads, if it's being done live action, there's a lot of neat little stuff we'll have to figure out in that.
And one thing we do know is the music soundtrack will be probably pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, as heavily influenced as that is by pop music and current culture, definitely.
Yeah, the creators really dig and pepper music and throughout their stuff, so I think that would be heavily involved. It'd be a large cast. A cast of, at least 12 to 14, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you get that many gods plus tertiary characters and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, definitely.
I was trying to think off the top of my head who could be cast as what, and I think probably the best way to go would not to be try to do any stunt casting with any, even though some of the gods look a little like actual rock stars.
I'm sure Prince would come in and do it.
I doubt he would. But I would think we'd want to go completely unknowns, right?
Yeah, I would. That's exactly what I would do.
I would stay clear of trying to do any kind of stunt casting with this, just to get the tone right. And I hope this happens, and I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, I think Karen Gillan does an amazing job, and I'd love to see him be heavily involved in the process of making it into a television show as well.
Yes, definitely. So that's cool. That's cool news. Not so cool news coming from Denver Comic-Con. They threw together a women in comics panel. Nothing wrong with that. And it just had guys on it. Now, they didn't put any women, or even ask any women, I guess, to sit on their women's. I don't even get how you have a women in comics panel without women on it. Or, in fact, shouldn't it be all women?
I would think that's exactly. I mean, when Preview spotlights the Women in Comics Month, it's all women that they spotlight.
Yeah. I think I've heard it's a good con, and it was probably an oversight or a mistake, and whatever. But I think since then they've probably added at least one. I thought I heard they added a token female to the Women in Comics panel, so it's not as bad. But come on, guys, don't call it Women in Comics. Call it something else if you're not going to have any women on the panel. That's pretty easy.
I gotta love it.
Yeah. It looks like the Supergirl pilot has leaked online.
6 months early.
6 months early. It's a full HD rip that someone has put on these pirate sites. I'm not familiar, but I know people have looked. You can go on the internets and figure how to get that stuff out. It's beyond me, of course.
What are these torrents you speak of?
Yes, but gotta be this stuff can't keep happening accidentally. It can't happen.
It just happened with Flash too.
It just happened with Flash. Didn't Game of Thrones leak early?
The first 4 episodes of Game of Thrones leaked before the first one premiered.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is it's a way to have plausible deniability by the studio, but also reap the benefits of a lot of people reviewing the pilot.
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
Getting that feedback, maybe somehow via the internets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why else they do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they still try to embargo review sites on this kind of thing or what.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I'm unaware.
It must be good. If we do think that they're behind it, the studio is behind leaking this, it must be a really good, tight first episode.
Yeah, they got some faith in it.
Yeah. So I haven't seen it, but if it falls into my lap, I plan on watching it just to see what the hype's all about. What else is going on? Oh, we've got leaks, or not leaks. This is actual press releases of the 44 post-convergence titles from DC Universe and when they're coming out. So we wondered what was happening after. Whoa! Oh, hold on for just a second. I've got a little music coming up here. Thank you, CBR. That reminds me of a little rant I want to go on here real quick.
All right, let's do this.
CBR, your site is horrible. Your site is terrible, and it's full of ads and spam and awful things that block my browser and clog up my internet tubes.
Yeah,
Please stop.
It chugs my browser like crazy. I hate everything about this site, aside from the news.
Aside from the news,
if you look at the window, it's tiny. Like, the amount I'm trying to actually look at an article is tiny, and there's all this crap all over everything.
Well, I'm going to try to get through this before their spam comes on again. And I couldn't even find where the spam was coming from to turn it off. That was terrible. I don't know how loud it was in your ears.
It did not come through.
You didn't hear it? Oh, my goodness. It was awful. But anyway, DC has repackaged the DC Universe, and it's DCU, YOU. And that's what's going to happen post-convergence. And starting this week, coming up, May 27th, will be the first round. We're looking at newly redesigned covers. The way it's not going to look like the New 52 logo anymore. And that first week is going to have Batgirl Batman, which we know and love. We're going to get a Black Canary title. We're going to get a new Constantine the Hellblazer. I think we're supposed to get a Cyborg, but I don't know if that's going to make it. I think that might have got bumped.
Okay.
Well, we're getting Earth 2 Society, #1. We're coming back to a Harley Quinn.
Not surprising.
Justice League. Justice League United, which I think we had before. Sinestro, which is just coming back. Superman coming back. Superman, Wonder Woman. The Flash. And then We Are Robin, #1 comes out. So, some interesting stuff there. Anything pique your interest that week from DC?
A lot of the same old, same old. I think I'm taking a flyer on things like We Are Robin and Cyborg.
Now, you're reading Batgirl, right?
I am not reading Batgirl.
Okay. Well, the Black Canary is actually kind of almost a spin-off from that.
Okay.
Because they kind of revamped her in that title, and so I've got a feeling it's going to be that same youthful interpretation.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is pretty good. I've enjoyed it. But that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. And I want to check out We Are Robin just to see all the Robins on in the same book together. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Gotcha.
We've got Batman Beyond, Batman Superman, Catwoman, Gotham Academy, Grayson, Martian Manhunter, new Suicide Squad, Robin, Son of Batman, Secret Six, and Teen Titans. So a lot of old standbys coming back, but it looks like Batman Beyond's going to launch.
Robin, Son of Batman.
Yeah.
taking over for the Batman Robin title, essentially.
Looks pretty
Batman
good.
Beyond afresh. And of course, I'm looking forward to the return of Grayson.
What else we got here? Do you have the next one up, or did yours close?
Nope, I am still up. Looks like we got Action Comics. We have Aquaman. We have a Batmite comic.
Ooh, golly. Not looking good.
Of course, the Bizarro. Continuation of our Deathstroke. Dr. Fate.
Okay.
Gotham by Midnight continuing. Green Lantern, The Lost Army. Justice League 3001. And then we are continuing Lobo as well.
Big surprise. I thought that would not come out of the back out of the backside of that. Really. Then we're looking at Detective. We've got Doomed, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Midnighter, Prez, which is another super youthful all ages thing. Red Hood Arsenal.
Taking over for the Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Oh, yeah. Section 8, which I believe is Garth Ennis. Looking forward to that one. Starfire and the Omega Men. So, some old favorites coming back, and then some, basically like the 25 or so bestsellers, and then a new slate of, I think it's supposed to be 24 new titles. And I don't think I got the order right. I think I'm not sure exactly what order those things are going to be released in, but those are the new. Looks like those are the new titles that will be coming out.
Yeah, the quote unquote new 52. For those of us who order these ahead of time, doesn't look like there's anything different than our orders necessarily, but just kind of a sneak peek at kind of what they're going to look like coming out and the new lineup of them.
And if you've read any of the Convergent stuff, in the month of May, they had those little sneak peeks in the back that kind of gave you a little synopsis of some of these things, and that was kind of a cool little glimpse. But and it had a little checklist there of when everything was coming out. I probably should
love your checklists.
I do. I'm a big fan of those checklists, so it's kind of like that. Now this is in stark contrast because, well, it's still early, but we don't know as much about what's going to happen post Secret Wars. What we do know is it's all new and all different, and it's a continuity jump 8 months later. So that could mean a whole bunch of things. And I think we got a glimpse on one of our solicits, I remember, of a new Avengers team with Miles Morales on it, and I haven't looked that closely at the latest previews that came out to see exactly what kind of stuff is happening. But we know it's all new and all different, and it's doing a continuity jump, so should be interesting. Are you psyched for that at all?
Not really. I'm just kind of curious what's going to make it and what's not going to make it. As far as the 8 months later thing, I'm not real sure about.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. It could be a disaster. But there's some serious comic news going on here. Some serious stuff that at least was news to me.
Definitely.
And so to lead us up into our sneak peek for June.
Yeah. So Drew and myself will be at previewsworld.com. We'll be looking at upcoming releases, those comic books hitting our local comic book shops on the 3rd of June 2015. Of course, Drew and myself will comb through and tell you what we think looks like it may catch fire, or some things that you probably should be reading if you're not reading. So, Drew, let's start where we always start, in Dark Horse.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot this time. Anything for you?
Not really. Not really anything that I'm currently on.
And no new number ones, nothing really, anything there to really sink your teeth into.
Nothing at all. Alright, Drew, let's head on down to DC Comics. Convergence is out of the way. Like we talked about, we've got the whole new slate of 44, which is, we no longer have 52, we're going to have 42 titles. And here is the stuff coming out the very first week of it.
Or is it 44 or 48? I don't know. I think it might be 48.
Might be 48.
I don't know. We'll see. They'll probably get canceled before too long. Especially this first one, Batmite number 1. I can't imagine that's going to hold on too long. Can you?
I mean, it looks like it's being billed as an all-ages comic. I was just in an LCS today, and there was a gentleman that came in looking hardcore for Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. And gentleman at the LCS was like, actually, that book has been so popular we cannot keep it in. And he was talking about trying to curtail his young daughter into comic books and how that had been suggested as that. So there seems to be a bit of a bit of lash for the all ages comics, the best way to break children into comics, and I think Batmite is probably going to be a great way if you're looking to get one of your kids into reading comics. You know, Dan Jurgens is a very competent writer on this, and it looks like a fun all-ages title. It's a mini. It's a 1 of 6. This may take a little more fire than we think it will. Not necessarily written for us, but there seems to be a place in the market for it.
Maybe. Squirrel Girl I've heard good things about from folks on the internet. Usually the same folks that really like My Little Pony comics, but whatever. It's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with Squirrel Girl. It's got a little bit of humor in it. I like how they do stuff in the margins and that are sometimes funny. But I mean, all in all, it's really not my bag. Could be for somebody else, though, maybe. What about this Batman Beyond? Are you into any of that animated stuff?
I'm not big into Batman Beyond. Of course, that's Terry, whatever his name is the Batman Beyond. It's, of course, a future version of Batman handed down from Bruce Wayne.
I don't really like the look of the character design, really.
I'm not a big fan of it either, but apparently there's a lot of people steeped in that lineage of it. So if I remember correctly, there was a Batman Beyond about 18 months ago that came out as well. So they're just giving it another try on Batman Beyond.
Hey, the one thing I got to give them props for DC, which I haven't said that for a while, is these things are coming out at $2.99.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are $2.99 first issues of new comics. You know, we're seeing a lot of $4.99 books over on Marvel's side. I'm not saying DC doesn't do that at all, but Marvel seems to be doing an awful lot more of that. And so at least DC is keeping it a little more affordable for these new comics, these gateway comics, and they are still holding the line at $2.99, and they might be the only publisher, with the exception of Image, doing so.
Mm-hmm. Well, Image isn't doing a great job of that themselves nowadays.
No, but they still have some.
Yep.
Let's see.
Bizarro #1, yet another #1.
Yes. Who's doing the creative team on that?
Creative team on Bizarro #1. We're going to be looking at Heath Corson writing and Gustavo Durante on the art.
Huh.
This one is labeled as a mini as well. This is also a 1 of 6. So that's 2 or 3 of the things that DC is doing that are 1 of 6. That looks like they tie in perfectly with the end of the year. So I wonder if there's something on the horizon for DC starting in 2016, because it seems like some of their things are just a slate of minis.
Well, it's quite possible. Mm-hmm. Or this could just be like just a staggered schedule of things, you know?
No, I don't. Explain.
You know, they're just, doing some, putting some minis out there, and then as the first wave of things start petering out, the second wave comes, likely with the New 52. Different waves of new titles.
Gotcha.
A constant barrage of new titles coming in to replace poorly selling old titles. We've got Midnighter #1 from Steve Orlando with art by Aiko.
Yeah, of course, Midnighter, a character born of the Grayson series.
That's right. Right. Does that mean we need to go back and pick up that?
I believe Grayson #2.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, is 1 or 2. If it's 1, I'm set because I got a ton of those. Being your first appearance in the Midnighter.
That's really the first modern appearance, because I'm sure he appeared before.
That's true. I am unaware of Midnighter as a recurring character from previous, but that wouldn't be the New 52. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that now that we talk about it.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's the original appearance of Midnighter is probably only a Google search away. But Omega Man #1 is written by Tom King. Doesn't he do Grayson?
Yes.
Yeah. Along with art by Alec Morgan. And the Omega Men are back in an all-new series. They've murdered White Lantern Kyle Rayner, and now the universe wants them to pay. Who are these intergalactic criminals, and is there more to their actions than meets the eye? Did we know that they murdered Kyle Rayner, or was that just a spoiler solicit?
I am unaware of that.
I don't know if I knew that or not.
Yeah.
Then there's a Wonder Woman annual that's coming out. Some of our old favorites returning from their 2-month hiatus. We've got Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Justice League with their 41st issue. And so good slate of stuff from DC.
Yeah, it's good to see some things I'm interested in again from DC other than the Convergence titles that I fell asleep towards the end of that run, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, on this podcast we like to talk speculation as well. I've been going back and forth a lot on these number ones from DC, especially with some of them being minis. I don't know that I'm necessarily seeing a ton of spec value in some of these things, but I think a lot of them are going to be very good stories. Alright, that's all I've got from DC. Let's head on down to IDW.
Well, IDW is one of your favorite publishers that you keep saying you're going to come back in, and you never did.
Yet to find that thing that grips me, unfortunately.
Yeah. By the way, Midnighter's first appearance seems to be Stormwatch number 4.
Oh, yeah, from 1998.
Is that what the year is on that?
I don't know. I just saw that on Wiki because I actually went to it as well.
Thanks for bringing that up. You weren't going to share that with the listeners. You're going to keep that information for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And not even share it with share it with your own brother. Was that an image book?
It says Wildstorm DC.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. February 1998, Stormwatch number 4. Do you think there's anything there?
I mean, it's probably gonna be one of those things we're gonna have to read the first one to see what direction they're going in with this character, because even with his take on Grayson, I liked a lot about him in Grayson, but I don't know that he can carry a book. So I'm very curious about that. One thing that bodes well for him is it is not one of the series labeled as a mini; it is labeled as an ongoing. So I will read the first few of those and then see if it's something I feel I need to try to reach back and put a little bit of stock in his first appearance or not.
Yeah, that's it's an Image title. I mean, it was written by Warren Ellis with art by Brian Hitch, which is pretty amazing stuff. I mean, that's good stuff. But I'm trying to see what it's selling for on eBay currently, if it's even available on eBay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the print runs would have been in that late end of the 90s for a Wildstorm issue. But as far as what we're looking at in IDW, you have been reading the Dave comics. Of course, the A in Dave is a 4. And we are on issue 5 of 5, that miniseries. So you've been keeping current with that?
Well, yeah, I've already read it all. So...
Oh, that's right. We talked about this before these came out ahead of time. So,
So I'm just letting the print ones stack up and going from there.
Gotcha. Not a whole lot of number ones from IDW. In fact, none of them. Your typical Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, your Transformers, and such. Not your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ongoing currently offered on this one. That's the one that has a little bit of heat behind it with some of the things that have happened with Donatello in the last few issues. But that is not something that is this week. So,
yeah. Stormwatch is going from $15 to $40 online right now.
Gotcha.
So it's already jumped. It's already made the big jump.
So unless you can find it crawling into one of your LCSs in a back issue bin, we'll have to see on that one.
Yeah. So our good friends at IDW, I mean, we keep wanting to do something new with you guys, and unless it's the second printing of Jim and the Holograms, I'm just not seeing it this week.
Not seeing it either. We'll try again next week for our buddies. Speaking of our buddies, let's see what we got from Image Comics.
Now, how many times has some comic publisher tried to bring Airboy back? I know there's been at least 3 that I can remember. This one is written by James Robinson with art by Greg Hinkle, and now it's an Image book. But I don't think it's ever taken off. I don't even know if I'm going to sample this one.
It is a mini, a 1 of 4,
and that would be one of the first times that I bailed. First times in a long time that I've bailed completely on a number 1 from Image. Autumnland's Tooth and Claw number 6.
Yeah, the end of the very first arc of this. The literal shattering showdown with the bison tribes that tears all alliances apart and sends the series in a whole new direction. Finale of the hit series' first arc.
And they
I was curious. Go
They
ahead.
had a little delay, it looks like.
Yeah, but I'm actually very impressed that they're doing a full 6-issue run on that, while also doing a gigantic oversized issue number 1. So when you're going to look at Autumnlands in trade form, it's going to be labeled as 6 issues, but read more like 7 because of that oversized first issue.
There's no way it's going to be $9.99 either.
I think it will be. I'm going to bet you that it will still be $9.99.
No, it's going to be at least $16 or $17.99, I think.
You heard it here first. $9.99. Autumnlands.
More so. Big Man Plans number 3.
Yeah, 3 of 4. I've been actually quite enjoying this kind of sick, sadistic little book.
Yeah, feels a little delayed too, but maybe not.
No way, not delayed at all. Right on schedule, I believe.
Okay. We have Covenant number 1.
It's a March.
Well, there's some are March and some are
I
April.
know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. This is a Rob Liefeld book. He's back.
Yeah, he's got a few books coming out. Covenant,
Yeah.
and then another one the month after that as well. So, as you can see on the cover, Liefeld cover, no feet on that cover, and it doesn't look like he's.
Were his feet really that bad?
Yes.
Or is that now just permeated our consciousness?
There are many,
Were they
many,
really
many-
that bad?
They're a lot of times hidden behind things as well, and but it looks with this Covenant we're back in kind of the Roman area, so it doesn't look like he was able to place a lot of pouches and gun holsters on these characters.
I'm gonna go ahead and call my pick right now. It is The Humans number 5, and I don't know why you people haven't.
Wait! You people? What do you mean,
You people with women in comics panels and such going on out there in the internets. It is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's the best comic. I love this comic. The first 4.
You and the 3,500 other people reading this book.
We love it. It's written by Keenan Keller with art by Tom Neely, and it's like X-rated monkeys, man. Come on, it's X-rated monkeys. You gotta love this. And get on this. This is the beginning of the second arc. You missed some stuff. You should get that first trade too. Grab that first trade. It's a $9.99 trade. It's only $2.99. Hop on Humans number 5. It's a joy. It's a joy to behold.
This is a new arc, so it looks like they went 4 issues with the first arc. And
Yeah.
start a new one on number 5.
Jupiter's Circle number 3. I don't think I read 2 yet, so I don't know if it got better.
All right. Nailbiter number 13. Been really enjoying Nailbiter as it continues on the old school Archie cover on this one. So this is, of course, Joshua Williamson with art by Mike Henderson. Mm-hmm. So our serial killer town continues to unravel the mystery of why so many sadistic killers from one such town.
Non-player number 1, which is the 4th printing, and non-player number 2. Now, the reason it's the 4th printing is because non-player came out, back in 2011. So the first issue came out in 2011, and the second issue came out next week. Mm-hmm. So with a scant, 220 weeks between issues.
And we thought Sandman was bad.
I believe the creator's is looking at a 7-issue series. So set your watches for 2024 for the end of non-player. I did get an advanced review copy for non-player number 2, and it was pretty good. Oh. But boy, there's a lot of space between those first 2 issues. Stuff happens. Life gets in the way, folks.
This is true. Now, we've just talked about Wicked and Divine being optioned for a television series, and then this is also the issue where we got the mystery cover B by Fiona Staples that hit late in the market that we got an email for that wasn't available to order for previews. But and I, of course, jumped all over that because anything that Fiona Staples does, as far as a cover, we always grab. So this is one instance where cover B, I think, is a good one to have.
Right. I don't know if I ordered any of those.
Really?
I had to have ordered. Yeah.
I know you did because you sent me an email. I told you to grab 2. So if I grab them, you always latch onto what I do. So
that's true. But did I follow through?
You may not have ordered me one.
I'm not sure. This was June order, right?
We shall talk off air.
I may get a stern talking to.
But some good stuff from Image this week as well. So very, very, very good stuff. So Image, of course, not letting us down.
No, really cranking them out. Good stuff.
Now we're still engrossed in Secret Wars, but even though we're engrossed in Secret Wars,
are we engrossed?
A lot of things have SWA after them.
Oh, but as readers, are we?
No. The Marvel lineup is engrossed, not us necessarily as readers. But
gotcha.
Some of the things, but at the very least, we can look forward to the Star Wars lineup within the Marvel universe.
How many of the Battle World box set slipcases did you order from Marvel?
0.
But they're only $500.
Oh snap! I did not even see that.
Is that crazy or what?
What even is that?
I don't know what it is, but it's nuts. I'm gonna have to look at it. I wonder if they got a picture.
They do. Box set that goes above and beyond, including Superhero Secret Wars. Jeez.
It's the whole
hardcovers and posters and lions and tigers and bears.
So, wonder what DCBS selling that for $250?
Probably still $500.
It's probably still $500. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 18.1.
Rant, and I got another rant here.
Okay.
Back in just 2014, 2013, Marvel did this thing called the Point One issue, where it was a great jumping on point, and they were branding the Point One, so you wouldn't have to do that silly shenanigans of renumbering titles and starting them over at number 1 all the time. You could name it an 18.1, and the readers would get used to the fact that, hey, this is a great place to jump on. It's got a good story arc start, so I can hop on without knowing anything behind it. Great idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've abandoned that, it looks like. And now the Point One in Marvel is a way to hide a miniseries.
Yeah.
Or, in the case of the Daredevil 15.1 that came out last week or two, it's like an annual. It was like an annual story.
Or an anniversary special.
An anniversary special type thing.
Yeah.
What it isn't is a good jumping on point. So, I don't think they really gave it enough time to catch on, and they haven't really abandoned it. They still use it. They just use it differently. I don't get you, Marvel. Please send me a letter explaining yourself.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's another one here, and I have not been a big fan of the offshoots of Spider-Man, but here we have Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows, number 1, a Secret Wars tie-in from one of the old storylines that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head.
And this is one that you jumped on.
I jumped on. You know why I jumped on?
And, well, let me finish my story first.
Go ahead.
And I laughed at you, and I said, what are you doing? That looks stupid. And then I heard Dan Slott say, the things that happen in Renew Your Vows are actually going to have repercussions and continue on in the next story arc. So there might be some actual first appearances and things in here, or some actual plot points that matter. So probably good call on that on you there.
And the big key there is Dan Slott.
Dan Slott, yeah.
And man, there is an amazing J. Scott Campbell version of this number 1 that I do not have the money, unfortunately, to afford.
Is it like a 1 in 100 or something?
No, it's like $25 for the regular, and then but it's this really killer looking thing I was looking at the other day. But
you know what, J. Scott Campbell needed to get off his lazy butt and stop doing covers and do a book.
Yeah, no doubt.
When's the last time he did a regular book?
I have no idea, but man, he's got some impressive stuff, and I'm unfortunately late to the J. Scott Campbell game, but I can see me falling down a rabbit hole where I just start going and collecting as many.
Well, I think there are a ton of people out there that they do that.
Yeah.
They chase the J. Scott Campbell covers because they're so good.
Yeah, but even if you're not buying it, Google it, look it up. It's from J. Scott Campbell. I believe his actual website has it on there. There's both a sketch and a regular, and it's this really amazing Mary Jane in a wedding dress, and there's inlaid spider webs within the wedding dress. It's really wicked looking. And it's, of course, in that overly sexy style that he does. So, of those, if you can get your hands on that...
Is it like J. Period Scott Campbell, or just like
yes, yeah, J. Scott.
Can you hear when I type?
I can. We've had
Can
this
our
conversation
listeners?
before.
Can our listeners hear? You think?
Yes, if I can
Write
hear
us
it,
or
listen.
tweet us and tell us if you can hear me tippy tapping on my keyboard. Because now I have to find out if when the last time he did an ongoing series. Is it Jeffrey Scott?
It's J. Scott Campbell. I literally just typed it in and found him right away. But yeah, on his website, the pre-order The Amazing Spider-Man, renew your vows, J. Scott Campbell. Store
Yeah, it doesn't look
cover.
like he's done that much.
Yeah.
He just must be a cover guy.
Yeah. And a darn good cover guy.
He did an Elephant Man #6 though.
Did he do like a sexy Elephant Man? That's weird.
That's probably something you can afford if you can find it. I mean, it's on like 60 now.
Yeah.
So that probably had a print run of 12
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
But if you could find that one,
Yeah.
I might check that out.
Anyways, I'm interested in Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #1. It's, of course, Spider-Man marries Mary Jane, lives happily ever after with a daughter, and scrapes by meagerly and just like an everyday person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious about this and the far-reaching ramifications of this within the Secret Wars. So this is one I'm going to seek out and maybe even look at some other, if not the J. Scott Campbell, but some other variants for, because at the very least, I think this looked very, very neat and interesting.
And I was so grumpy about the convergence issues that I was just like, I don't want to even sample anything in Secret Wars until somebody else tells me they're good.
Yeah.
We have Armor Wars #1. James Robinson doing the writing on this one as well. You getting that one too?
No.
No, me neither. Darth Vader #6. I'll be getting that though.
Choo choo! I am still on the Darth Vader train.
I was like, choo choo. What does that mean? Future Imperfect that's a storyline I'm probably not familiar with. It's like a big, bulky, a big old Hulk guy. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's written by Peter David with art by Greg Land.
You sound in pain when you're talking about these.
Yeah, Greg Land's hit or miss for me. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm sure this stuff is good.
A lot of people talking about Groot #1, of course. Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is it a mini?
It is not labeled as a mini. It is currently just a issue 1. But I'm unaware of how exactly you do a full-fledged issue with a man who only says 3 words.
A lot of supporting cast. Maybe?
I'm gonna guess they're gonna hold up this book.
Really?
That's my guess. I'm sorry. The supporting cast will hold up this book.
Oh, hold. Okay, I thought you meant it was like it would be on hold or something.
Yeah. Princess Leia #4 of 5, our least favorite currently of the Star Wars, but
selling well.
Yeah, Mark Waid 4 of 5. I'm going to continue and see what we get out of this series, and collect it, and at the very least, place it on the shelf.
Secret Wars #3. 2 was good.
1 is it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Secret Wars Battle World #2.
Didn't read it.
Spider-Woman #8.
Didn't read it.
Star Wars #6.
I really like it.
Yeah, the last one was chock full of Boba Fett, so wonder what we're going to get as far as issue 6.
Is your hatred for Boba Fett lessening?
No, I hate Boba Fett. I mean,
Still
he's
hate
a man with like 11 seconds of screen time, yet this obscure cult of following for no apparent reason. Also, what's with the stupid rocket on the back? I don't get it. How you gonna... Never mind.
That was one of my favorite action figures growing up, and then you took it and shot it with a BB gun.
I did. I destroyed
spoiled.
most of your childhood. I apologize.
You're a horrible person.
I was 4. Leave me alone.
Karma will get you.
So far, I've been fine.
It's taking its time.
Superior Iron Man #9. Tom Taylor hitting it out of the park with Superior Iron Man. I'm very, 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 very curious how long they're going to continue with the Superior moniker on this title.
Yeah, coming out of Secret Wars, I wonder if he'll go back.
That's my guess as well.
I don't know. Well, especially if you fast forward 8 months.
Yep.
Unbeatable Squirrel Goal.
Squirrel Go.
Well, yeah, you were just talking about the scarcity of this title, that it's selling through. So.
Seems to be selling through. Seems to have some popularity, at the very least, with the younger crowd.
Good for that. And then we have a Years of Future Past #1, another Secret Wars tie-in, and I'm guessing this is a Days of Future Past tie-in with like the old X-Men storyline.
It does
Right?
look like one of the older X-Men storyline, yeah.
And one of our favorite writers at the helm, Marguerite Bennett.
I don't think I know her.
No. Actually, she's not bad. It's Ann Nocente that we didn't like.
Yeah, we just have a lot of disdain for her and what she does for DC.
Marguerite, I think, did that detective annual that I really liked with Ventriloquist.
Oh, yeah.
It was either the Ventriloquist or that Race Lady. I can't remember. They kind of blend together, but yeah, it was good.
Gotcha. Alright, if you'd like to, let's head on down. Now that we've finished up with Marvel, let's see what's in the back from our smaller publishers. Our smaller publishers are Boom Studios, our Dynamic Forces, our Oni Presses, and all the other lot. Archie's 666 regular cover.
Huh.
Nothing satanic about it on the front, so they're handling it straight.
That's the final one, right?
I think so.
And then we get the Fiona and Mark Waid version.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. We've got Big Game Hunters, number 1 of 3. Big Game Hunters, The Tale of the Lizard.
I just assumed this would be brought to you by Cabela's like the games are, but no, it's not.
This is written by Sean C. Burry with art by Jock, but it's J-O-K, not J-O-C-K. Different Jock. And this is a ragtag band of steampunk Victorian monster hunters. Are you out yet?
Yep. I already have clicked on other things.
I thought by now you would be completely gone.
Yeah. Bunker is number 11, Joshua Hale Fialkov, continuing to write his...
Did you stick with this?
Made it through 5 issues, and then just kind of one of those things where I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to read Bunker. I'm never going to read Bunker again.
I got behind 2 or 3 issues, and then stopped pre-ordering it, and then stopped reading it. So.
But, just in time, it looks like there's a trade for Bunker. Trade number 2, so if you'd like to catch up, this is the time to do it. Unfortunately, these are not Image, so it is not an affordable trade. It is a $20 trade.
We've got Broken World, number 1 of 4, written by Frank J. Barbieri, and art by Christopher Peterson. And this is with a meteor days away from causing an extinction-level event on Earth. Time is running out for Elena Marlowe. While most of the planet's population and her family were approved by the government to escape on one of the giant spaceships headed to another planet, that sounds familiar, her application was denied due to her mysterious past. With the meteor fast approaching, Elena desperately tries to find a way to fake her way onto... And then it trails off and I don't see the rest of the... Come on, solicit makers. What's going on?
One that catches my eye, of course, Feathers, number 6.
Oh, we're going to finish that up. That's great.
Jorge Corona on both writing, art, and the covers on that one. We'll follow our good friend Poe and his good friend Bianca as they finish their story. And hopefully we find out exactly who's going where and what's going on with them.
I have already read Justice Inc. The Avenger from Dynamite Entertainment, and I really liked the cover. I got an advanced copy of this. It's got an old school DC 25-cent cover, and it kind of caught my eye. I like the second half of the book. The first half I didn't care for too much, but it's old school super heroic adventure comic type of deal.
Gotcha.
So you're probably out.
Yeah, probably.
Look at Mage Incorporated. This is a 1 of 3. This is by Space Goat Production.
Space Ghost, coast to coast.
Space Goat Production. And this is also Sean C. Burry doing the writing and art by Ian Warianto. So, Space Goat is making a presence this month, or this week.
Yes, by putting out 2 books, neither of which I'm interested in reading. Now, did you read some Sixth Gun stuff at one point?
I wanted to read Sixth Gun, but it's way ahead of me, so I need to grab that first trade. And
now, would you be interested in reading Sixth Gun, Valley of Death, number 1? of 3?
I would not.
Okay.
Because I want to go back and read the whole thing.
Gotcha.
So I would probably hold off because I haven't read the originals. But I don't know. Maybe it's like...
It is a time before the 6th gun, yet the darkness and corruption that precede the coming of the 6th are in their season.
It's still Colin Bunn, right?
Brian Hurt. Hurt with 2 T's. So
didn't definitely know.
A different writer as well.
Yeah. The last chapter of War Stories, the last chapter of the German story arc by Garth Ennis.
The Germans?
And the Germans and the Russians. Finishing up. The Woods was... Is that James Tynion?
That's either James Tynion the Fourth or James Tynion the Fourth. New story arc begins with number 13.
Because I dropped off of that. I don't even know if I read the first issue.
I read the first of that. Yeah, I kept getting that and Trees mixed up. They came out about the same time.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that Ninjak number 1 going to a 3rd printing and Ninjak number 2 going to a 2nd printing. I'm really enjoying Ninjak through the first 3 of those.
Is it Ninjak or Ninja K?
It's one word, so that's Ninjak in my mind.
Okay.
You would have to place a space there if you'd like me to say Ninja K.
Agreed.
All right, Drew. We've combed through the back of the book. We've combed through our major publishers. You've given us a sneak peek at what you think your decision for sneak peek will be. Are you sticking with Humans number 5?
Humans number 5. You missed, most of you missed the first 4 issues. And you missed out. And you can still get on this train. Hop on number 5, because when this thing becomes the next big thing, you can say you were on the semi-ground floor.
Got you. I'm debating between 2 of them. Of course, Covenant number 1 by Rob Liefeld. And Image number 1, always a great decision. And we've already talked about my love for Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 1. I'm going to go with probably the Covenant number 1. Just take a flyer on the Rob Liefeld book. Because he's got this coming out, and I believe the next month he has another one that looks like kind of a Deadpool clone coming out as well. But, of course, Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool and such other characters. I believe Cable as well. So,
now we have the new slate of number 1s from DC this week. We have Batmite, Batman Beyond, Bizarro, Midnighter, Omega Man. Those 5. If you were a betting man, would one of those be the breakout hit?
Nope.
None of those are a breakout hit?
Nope. None of those are a breakout hit. And I don't know. I know the least about Omega Man, I would say.
I think that'd be the only one I think would have the shot.
Yeah.
I'd actually hold on for a while.
Because, like I said, 18 months ago we had a Batman Beyond that didn't really find any traction. Bizarro.
Again, those are minis. So
those are mini-series, and you know my thoughts on mini. There's really very little... There's usually very little money in a mini-series, unless you're already pot committed to collecting all 6, usually, if you're doing a mini, because just having 3 of 6 is pretty much worthless. So, unfortunately, there are a few things in the DC slate that I have some little feelings about, but none of these are them.
Gotcha.
But all in all, June's coming in well. There's a lot of neat stuff here. A lot of things I'm excited to read. Really excited for Wicked and Divine. Really excited for all the Star Wars stuff coming out from Marvel. And, of course, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Really excited to see what Slot has to say there. But we want to thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. Thank you for following us down our sneak peek at next week. Of course, you can find all of our information on comicsfunprofit.com. Links to Twitter, Facebook, other social media sites. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star review. Tell us how much you enjoy your podcast. Feel free to contact us, and if there's anything we're missing, if I went through this list too quickly and you have an IDW book that you think I should be reading, or perhaps I'm not giving the Secret Wars really its due diligence, feel free to drop a line and let me know if there's something I should be looking at. So once again, we thank you so much for listening. So for Drew and myself, see ya.